Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saur Darkchylde, and welcome back to Let's Replay Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogies. Last time we started our second day of investigation, as we have Franziska being our follower instead of Maya, who is still missing. We found Pearl, who was somehow trapped on the other side of Dusky Bridge for an entire day. Poor girl. And apparently so was Mr. Godot. And he blames us, somehow, for the murder of Mia Fey. Don't know why. And just as we were getting some things cleared up in the investigation, an earthquake happened, causing Edgeworth to lose sight of Iris for a brief moment. And as we got back to the training hall, where there was just one lock, now there are 5. What the heck is going on? Let us find out today in part 2 of the second day investigation. February 9th, 2019. Inner Temple Training Hall. Right. This is what Godot was talking about. Is this what Godot was talking about? Yeah. The trick locks. Now then, Iris, please remove these at once.
Mr. Edgeworth? I'm afraid I can't. It's not possible for me.
What? During the earthquake, when the cavern was in danger of caving in, Iris escaped. And I know that there was only one lock when I last came here. So you're saying that you can't undo the new locks?
Yes.
If only I was stronger. Edgeworth, how are you feeling? You look a little pale in the face. Like you're one to talk with your face all green. Well, Edgeworth, go and get some air. I'll watch over the suspect. And you, go and get a grip on yourself. Don't be ridiculous, I'm perfectly... There's no telling him what sort of mistakes you could make in your current state. Go and get some rest. That's your only concerns now, Miles Edgeworth. Understood. I'll handle the investigation in the garden. You take care of things here. Edgeworth. He's got so much pride that he's probably off crying in a corner of the garden. Pride is simply another trap that hinders us in our lives. That said, one must have pride to be effective on the job. At any rate, it seems that this is where we part ways, Phoenix Wright. I'm going to stay here and see if I can't help solve these bothersome puzzles. I see. Well, thanks for your help. Now then, do you mind if I ask you a few things, Iris?
No, not at all.
Why did you make a run for it, Iris?
I'm sorry. I heard the inner temple had been severely shaken by the strong earthquake we had. I was so worried. I had to come and see.
In other words, you didn't run away to escape the law. At least we're clear on that.
I can't tell you how relieved I was when I saw the sacred cavern was all right, but But what? When I saw these chains here, I saw all those extra hooks that someone had put on the Sacred Cavern's door, and who in the world would do something like this? These trick locks are a sacred treasure of the curing tradition. There are hundreds of ways to set them. That's why only the person who sets the locks can open them. And you aren't the one who set these locks?
I don't think it's that simple, Franziska von Karma. When we were here for the first time, there was only one lock. But now, somehow, there's 5 of them.
What does that mean?
It means someone wanted to secure the place even more. And they wanted to secure it before you got here, that Iris. Presumably because they wanted to make sure Maya couldn't get out. This means that Iris can only open one of these locks, the first one.
Yes, that's correct.
What? Iris, try to think, please. Is there any way around this?
Well, like I said, there are hundreds of ways to set these locks. I suppose if I went through every combination with each one, I could remove them. But it will take time, won't it? Yes, about a day, if I had to guess.
A whole day?
Well, that's better than leaving the locks in place. Will you do this for us? Sure, I'll do whatever I can.
I've got to wait another day? Hang in there, Maya. We're going to have to call on your inner strength now. You know what, Iris? There's still one thing I don't quite get.
And what might that be, Phoenix Wright?
I think it's obvious. Iris, on the night of the murder, where were you? Please, Iris, don't give me that look. You told us that you were in your room at Hazakura Temple at the time of the incident. But you were seen that same evening at the inner temple. And then, you were spotted at the scene of the crime in Hazakura Temple, too.
Being spotted at both Hazakura Temple and the Inner Temple, it's as if you were...
Well, Iris, I think it's about time you told us the truth. Three Cyclops. I knew it. There's something going on here that we don't know yet. I'll come back to you. Let's see. They're finally getting to the bottom of things. I'm finally getting to the bottom of this case. I can count on Iris to break those locks, so I should try to gather more clues. From Sister Bikini, Edgeworth, Gumshoe, and Pearls. Let's go to Heavenly Hall. It's weird that there's no one around all of a sudden. It sure gets quiet here in the mountains when you're all on your own. Speaking of alone, I guess I should go check out the shack just down this path. Maybe I'll find Larry there sulking again. We'll check there later. Oh wait, we are heading there. Heavenly Hall.
Oh, Mr. Nick.
Pearls, what are you doing here?
Nothing. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright?
Well, we don't know yet.
Oh, I see.
Hey, what do you think you're doing here, Nick?
Larry?
This is the Loser's Shack, where losers get together and lose themselves.
This is the what?
Hey, we find comfort in each other's failures, okay? Hey, you got the problem with that?
Look, Mr. Nick, Mr. Lawrence did a picture for me.
That's, great, Pearls.
We're going to gather firewood now. We'll be cooking some half-rotten potatoes over a miserable little campfire. So stay out of our way!
I don't believe this. Why can't he try getting fired up over becoming a better man?
No one believes a word I say anymore. Listen to me, Pearl. You don't want to trust this kind of guy, okay? He'll only let you down.
Oh, Mystic Maya.
Larry, is there something you want to tell me about this picture?
Huh. I got nothing to say to you, Nick. My life's here now, with Pearl. Two losers cooking potatoes together forevermore.
What am I going to do with him? Alright then. What do you think about this picture, Pearls?
I think it's really well drawn. I can't draw at all, so I think it's really amazing.
See? Someone appreciates it. It's tough getting the flames to look like that, you know?
It's supposed to be Sister Iris flying through the air, isn't it? I love it. It's like a dream, a wonderful fantasy.
No, it wasn't a dream. She really flew, I'm telling you. Iris really flew that night.
But, Mr. Lawrence...
Not you too. Please don't look at me like that, Pearl. Don't look at me like I'm some kind of nutcase, I beg you.
I guess this picture really is a representation of what Larry thinks he saw.
Okay, so I was half asleep when I was here that night. But I was wide awake after the lightning struck. And I saw what I saw. It was exactly like I drew in the picture.
And it looks like I don't have any choice but to take this sketch at face value.
Hey, what's with the look of doubt on your face?
Pearls?
Yes, Mr. Nick?
I've been needing to ask you about the night of the murder. Where were you? And what exactly were you doing when it all happened?
I was just, well, I'm just a kid, you know. I'm sure it doesn't really matter what I was doing, does it, Mr. Nick?
Sorry, Pearls, But yes, it does. On the night of the murder, you were supposed to be with Miss Duxton in her room, reading a book together. But Miss Duxton was murdered, and you, Pearls, were at the inner temple. Just what exactly happened that night, Pearls?
I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick. I've been a bad girl. That's why I'm being punished.
What are you talking about, Pearls?
My spiritual power, it has disappeared.
What? Her powers have disappeared? What do you mean that your powers have disappeared, Pearls?
It's all over for me. A spirit medium who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint.
Hey, what are you looking at me for?
Pearls. Did you try to channel someone's spirit right here at the Hasakura Temple? Tried but failed, perhaps?
Way to go, Nick. You made her cry. That's a really cruel of you.
Just as I thought. I'm going to have to break her Cyclops to get to the truth out of her. And we don't have the evidence for that, so we're going to have to get back to her. Next up, main hall. I wonder if Sister Bikini is back at the main hall yet. I haven't seen Gumshoe around for a while either. Maybe they're having a cup of tea together somewhere? I bet Gumshoe is Sister Bikini's type.
Well, what's the damage? How is the sacred cavern?
It looks like it survived, but we have a bigger problem now. I told Sister Bikini all about it. About the 5 locks that were stopping us from getting inside the sacred cavern.
But who? Who could have done that? The only person who know how to set those locks are those of the Curain tradition.
We have Iris at the sacred cavern, trying her best to open them for us right now. Actually, there's something I've been needing to talk to you. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to talk with you about, Sister Bikini.
Oh, yes. We were in the middle of a chat, were we?
Yes. You were telling me about how the Master of the Curain disappeared 17 years ago? I want to know why Misty Faye suddenly appeared at this temple.
It was about a week ago when Mystic Misty arrived. After she showed me that talisman that proved she was the master, she said, "Someone is trying to destroy the Curain channeling tradition's main family tree line. Someone is trying to destroy the Curain tradition main family line. I am here to put a stop to them."
Someone was trying to destroy the main family line?
There is only one heir to the title of master, at any time, and it's usually the eldest. The child becomes the new master of the curing, and her daughters the main family. The other mediums become branch family members, with no hope of controlling the clan. That's why nothing has changed throughout the history of the clan. Branch families always have and always will plot to erase those of the main family line.
Is the power of the Master worth so much bloodshed?
You believe in the technique, don't you, Mr. Wright? You know its power is real.
Yes, I do. It's been 2 years since I first met Maya. In that time, I've seen her channel spirits of the dead plenty of times. During the Mask to Mask case, and during Maggie Bird's trial, too. Thanks to Maya, Mia has always been on hand to help me out when I need her the most.
The curing technique has made a huge difference to the world, you know. I mean, the ability to commune with the dead, that's true psychic power, you know. Members of the tradition have always been there, behind every important leader. Who wouldn't respect such a tremendous skill?
I suppose so, but with all that power and influence, I kind of expected you'd be really rich by now.
Are you saying we're poor, Mr. Wright? You're very direct, aren't you? People don't believe in it anymore, you see. All because of one little mistake.
A mistake? What mistake?
It was 17 years ago. Oh, that's when everything came crashing down. All because of that incident.
That incident? Is she talking about what I think she is?
I'm sure the record still exists if you're interested. Locked up, of course. It was called the DL6 incident. That's the name of the file.
The DL6 incident? I knew it! The DL6 incident? I know it well. I handled a related case just 2 years ago.
Ah, that's right. So it was you who was the defense attorney at that case.
A murder took place 17 years ago. It was the first time in this country's history that the police ever used a spirit medium. The idea was to channel the victim's spirit to learn the identity of the murderer. And the medium who performed the channeling was Misty Faye, Maya's mother.
Through Mystic Misty's channeling, the name of a certain man surfaced. Armed with that as evidence, hence the investigation were spurred into action.
But that man, he was found not guilty, wasn't he?
That's right, he was. And the case remained a mystery. In other words, we failed. It was that first case in the world that had ever seen the curing tradition openly involved in. It was all over the media, the public, the judiciary, the people of Kirain Village. Everyone judged her. Everyone said Misty's powers were a sham. And then she just disappeared, vanished, while everyone still thought of her as a fraud.
But I know the truth. Misty Faye's spirit channeling wasn't a sham at all.
Of course it wasn't. And since you managed to reveal the truth, we're finally making a comeback. The Kirain tradition is starting to recover at last. But with a new master wielding the power of the clan.
Does she mean Maya?
The spiritual power of the Kirain channeling technique is in the blood.
Maya's told me the exact same thing before.
Well, all the women of the Fae clan have always been spirit medium. It's because of the power to commune with spirits flows strongly through us.
According to Maya, only the women in the family can inherit that power.
The family's bloodline streams directly from Mystic Ami. But with each new generation, only one daughter becomes the new master.
And the ones who don't become branch families, right?
That's right. And it's always the cause of tragedy.
You know, Maya had a sister too. An older sister named Mia.
Oh yes, I've heard of her.
What? You know about Mia?
Of course. She became a lawyer in the hopes of discovering what happened to her mother.
And lost her life as a result.
Do you know what Mystic Mia is rumored to have said? She said it wasn't only because of her mother that she became a lawyer. She also didn't want to fight with her sister over the leadership of the tradition.
Really?
Well, she saw what happened to her own mother, Mystic Misty, and grew up. I guess Mystic Mia got tired of seeing all of the rivalry between her mom and her aunt.
That's right. Misty Faye had an older sister too. And Misty, having superior powers, managed to usurp the master's seat from her.
Mystic Misty's sister is Mystic Morgan, as you probably know.
Morgan? That's a name I know well. It was a year ago now at Maya's home, Kirain Village. What she did was terrible. It was also she could make her own daughter the next master.
I suppose if you know about Mystic Morgan's daughter, then you must have already realized that Iris...
Huh? Iris? What's Iris got to do with any of this?
That Iris is Mystic Morgan's daughter.
Iris is what? Is she kidding me? Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter? Did you just say that Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter?
Oops, I thought you already knew. It sounded like you met one of Mystic Morgan's daughters already.
I have. I know her very well.
Oh?
Yes, Pearl Faye. But I always thought that she was an only child.
jest! That child! She's Mystic Morgan's? I had no idea. Mystic Morgan. But she's in prison now, isn't she?
Yes, ever since she was found in a co-conspirator in a murder case last year. It was all done to set Pearls up as the next master.
I see. So I've been wrong all this time. Mystic Morgan had 3 daughters, not 2.
Wait, what? 3?
Yes. Mystic Iris, her twin sister, and Mystic Pearl.
What? Twin sister?
Oh, you didn't know? It all happened 20 years ago. After the clan leadership was taken from her by her sister, Mystic Morgan's life crumbled. It wasn't many years later that Karine's reputation hit an all-time low. When Mystic Morgan's husband realized his wife would never become the master, he left her and the village, taking her twin daughters with him.
How awful.
He was a jeweler, you know. In the end, he remarried, and that's when it happened. He decided to give one of his girls up to be looked after by us here at the temple. That was Iris, you see.
It's unbelievable. Iris has a twin sister? Could it be? Could you tell me one more thing, Sister Bikini? What was the name of Iris's sister?
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I just can't remember. All I can recall is that her father was a jeweler.
Well, that's a clue, I guess. A jeweler. Thank you very much. You've helped clear up a lot of details. Pearls had 2 older sisters, huh?
Yes, that's right. No doubt it was all because of Mystic Morgan's anger towards the main family.
Anger? What do you mean?
Her twin daughters were taken from her by her jeweler husband. But even that couldn't destroy her dream that a child of hers would one day lead to the clan.
That's why she had pearls?
It seems that the incident here was a result of Mystic Morgan's anger. It was able to break free of the bars that confined her.
So Iris has a twin sister. The plot thickens. But this information will be useless unless I can flesh it out a bit. I need to ask more questions and get more info. I think we've got all that we can here. Let's move to the courtyard. Sounds like someone's happy. What tune is that they're humming? No motive, no crime. No motive, no crime. Sing it with me. No motive, no crime. I remember when we used to search
in the channeling room in Kirai and... Whoops, I love my job. Who cares if the clues I find are no good? That's not what investigation's all about. The investigator investigates for the love of investigation. It's a passion. Good cases we have, good cases we've lost along the way.
I would have never guessed that Gumshoe was into reggae.
Every case is gonna be alright. Every case is gonna be airtight. Hey, pal.
Huh?
Who, me? How long have you been standing there?
I just got here.
Oh, okay.
So, what are you up to, Detective?
I'm investigating, pal. I made a promise to Mr. Edgeworth. I promised I would find the real murder weapon.
The real murder weapon.
That Bob Saur thing turned out to be a false lead, right? I'm giving it my best shot here, but I still haven't turned up any clues.
I just found these weird scraps of paper. It looks like a letter or something.
It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the case, though.
A letter? About that letter you found.
Don't remind me, pal. I'm busting my gut here trying to find the murder weapon. And all I find is some burnt up old paper.
Burnt up old letter?
Yeah, it was in that incinerator right outside the inner temple.
The incinerator?
I knew it! I knew I wasn't imagining it!
There was snow on the incinerator when I first saw it. But after the incident, the snow must have melted away. Which means someone used the incinerator on the night of the murder.
What's up with you, pal? I've got it right here if you want to look.
Can I? Do you mind?
Sure, go nuts. I don't want it, pal. You can have it. It's all spirit mediums and masters and stuff. I bet it's got no relation to the case. Spirit mediums?
It's got to be important if it mentions spirit mediums and masters. I better give it a good long looking over and some serious thought.
Make sure you chuck it in the trash when you're done. Littering's a crime, pal.
So, how's the investigation going, Detective Gumshoe?
I don't know if I should be telling you, pal, but I guess it can't hurt. Looks like the murder took place in the Inner Temple Garden. And they're taking that bloody writing on the lantern pretty seriously back at HQ.
What? You mean...
I don't have the details, pal. All I know is, if you don't find Maya down in that sacred cavern, we're gonna be faced with an ugly situation.
What kind of ugly situation are we looking at here?
You got me. I don't know. They're not my words, pal.
Then who said it?
Mr. Goda.
Goda? What did he mean by that? So, what do you know about the real murder weapon so far?
Well, it wasn't the Shikashito that was found impaled in the victim's body. Mr. Edgeworth proved that in court today.
Yes, that's true.
In which case, it must have been another blade.
And that's what you're running around like a headless chicken looking for now, huh?
Yeah, and man, it's a tiring work, but let me tell you something, pal. I'm no chicken. I've got the feather of forensics on our cap these days. In our cap these days. We're using the department's secret weapons on this.
The secret weapon? What's this secret weapon of yours?
You wanna know? You've gotta think scientifically, okay?
Alright.
The murder weapon was a sword. Swords are, scientifically speaking, made of metal, right? Any questions so far?
No. I know what he's going to say, but I'll let him look smart.
So what's the perfect tool for the job? Ta-da! A metal detector!
Raise your hand if you didn't see this coming from a mile away.
Well, you want to give scientific investigation a go?
Huh?
Me? I've been using this thing for hours now. It gets pretty boring after a while. Why don't you give it a try?
I don't know. Should I help Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, sure, why not?
Come on, pal. It's good fun, I'm telling you.
Alright then. I guess I'll give it a go.
Like I said, this is the department's most advanced gadget. The absolute best. It's so sensitive, you could make it cry. So it's so high tech, heck, you can skydive off it.
Oh, brother.
So, now I'm gonna tell you how to use it.
And I'm gonna skim over this because I've been over this before in what was it? The final case of the original game. Basically, we just gotta hover that little scanny thing there, and if it gets a signal, select A, and you'll be able to check what it found. It's that simple.
This thing picks up metal objects that are hidden right below us.
This looks like a wallet?
That's where it's been!
Is it yours, Detective?
I'm always dropping it, so I put a bell on it.
But you still dropped it anyway.
Yeah, but now I found it again, pal.
Your wallet is completely empty.
Well, I dropped it all the time, so I don't put money in it anymore.
That's just sad, Gumshoe. Then how come the metal detector picked it up?
Must be because of the bell, I guess.
This is Miss Duxnam's staff, isn't it?
Scientifically speaking, they're usually made of wood.
But the detector is reacting to it.
Yeah, but however you look at it, the thing's made of wood, alright? I don't bother investigating anything unless it looks like might be metallic.
Isn't that the whole point of the metal detector? To find metal where you can't see it?
It's weird that this thing is causing a racket.
Here, let me take a look at it.
Hey, hands off! Examining evidence is a job for the...
Ah! The top is coming off!
Look at that! Look what you've done! You've damaged a really important piece of evidence! Ah! That's a sword? Inside the staff?
Could it be?
The murder weapon?
I never have guessed there'd be a sword concealed in the victim's staff.
They call this kind of thing a sword cane, pal. This one's a real gem. The workmanship is really something else. Thank goodness it wasn't a cane sword, or else the victim would have stabbed their own foot.
I've officially gave up on trying to figure out how Gumshoe's mind works. If the real scene of the crime was the inner temple garden, then why is the sword used to kill the victim found in the main hall courtyard? Hey, Gumshoe. Who knows about this hidden sword?
No one. Even the police didn't know about this until I discovered it just now.
Well, as they say, there's no team in Gumshoe. It doesn't look like there are any traces of blood on it.
Then I guess it isn't the murder weapon, huh?
No! Oh, I'm sure someone wiped it off after the murder.
Yeah, of course. This thing's definitely the murder weapon. Great job, pal.
It's about the same length and width as the Shikashito too. This must be the murder weapon.
Okay, I'm gonna run over to forensics. There's gotta be some traces of blood left, even if most of it has been wiped off. See you later, pal. Every case is gonna be airtight. Every case is gonna be airtight. Wait up, detective. Huh? What is it, pal? I'm pretty busy right now. I'm a pretty busy guy right now, you know.
You're going to get that staff analyzed, right? Would you mind holding off for just a while?
Huh? What are you talking about, pal?
Please. Just until we find Maya.
Maya? What's this got to do with her?
I don't know, but I'm starting to get a really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach.
Oh, how so?
Look, Maya's trapped inside the sacred cavern right now, and, well, we don't even know if she's okay or not. The more evidence and testimony I hear, the more uneasy I feel.
You don't think...
Maya's been... Please, detective. Let's just wait until we can get inside the sacred cavern.
You're looking kind of Viridian, pal. Okay. Just stop with that face, pal. One thing, though. This staff's secret trick. Let's keep it between you and me, alright? If it gets out that we knew who about it and didn't say anything, we're finished.
I understand.
This is just a regular one-of-the-mill staff. You got it? Okay, now, you take care of it, pal.
Thank you, detective.
Don't worry, she'll be fine.
Gumshoe?
You know, there's a place at the base of this mountain that has some really good pasta. How about I take you there when you find Maya, huh, pal?
Sure, thanks. I can't help but wonder, though. What was Elise Duxnam doing with a staff like this in the first place? Let's see how they're doing in the garden. The cops are still combing the place. They look pretty nervous. I'd be nervous too. It's gotta be a tough job. Especially with someone glaring you the evil eye the whole time. How could I have done that? Wow, I can't believe it's still bothering him. Edgeworth? Ah! Hey! Hey, don't you dare run away! What do you want, right? What do I want? If you came here to laugh at me, then get on with it. Get on, laugh away. I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. You went back to the Criminal Affairs Department, right? You said you wanted to look into something concerning Iris? Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible. You guys are putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden here, huh? There's a high chance that this is the actual scene of the crime, that's why. You mean because of the writing of blood and the talisman in the snow? Exactly. As you know, those things couldn't have been planted there after the murder. But surely, you don't suspect Maya, do you? We have to treat everyone as a suspect, Maya as well as Iris. It's our job, right? There was something that bothered me about her from the moment we met. I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. No, wait. Not somewhere. I felt like I've seen her in court before. So you went back to the Criminal Affairs Department to look into her life? Yes, I checked over every case file I've ever worked on. And I was right. I had seen her face before, 6 years ago. 6 years ago? It was my first appearance in court, and, as cases go, it was my worst nightmare. So, who is she? I'm sorry, Wright. I can't give that information away to a member of the general public. What? Why not? It might be a crucial piece of the puzzle to solve this case. The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. She had nothing to do with Iris and Hasakura Temple. And neither did the case. No, that woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Unrelated? Yes, I can say that with complete confidence. You're wrong, Edgeworth. She's totally related to this case. I need to fill Edgeworth in. I need to explain the connection between Iris and the woman Edgeworth knew. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know that Iris had a twin sister? What? A twin? You can't be serious. Sister Bikini told me, But the problem is, she didn't know the name of this twin.
There was nothing about Iris having a twin sister in the files I checked.
Well, Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently, her sister was raised by her father, a jeweler, I think.
A jeweler? Right. I just might know who this twin sister of hers is.
I had a feeling you'd say that. Let me guess. Her name is Dahlia Hawthorne, right?
Yes, exactly.
Please tell me what you know about her, Edgeworth. Please.
It was my first court case 6 years ago. I was a greenhorn, and due to my inexperience, the defendant died.
You're talking about Terry Falls, right?
You know about the case?
You're not the only one who noticed something about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne. I checked one of Mia's old cases from 6 years ago.
Yes, Dahlia was a key witness in that case. Dahlia and Terry Falls conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. They stole a jewel worth $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler. And 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking.
Her sister?
Well, her stepsister, actually. They weren't blood related. Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife.
Oh. And this is when she entered my life. The woman who tried to kill me. So after Terry Falls died, what happened to Dahlia? Did you check that out?
Does it really matter? Like I said, Dahlia isn't connected to this case.
Why are you so sure about that?
It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead.
What?
Well, her metabolic process are a matter of interest only to historians, so to speak.
What do you mean by Dahlia Hawthorne is dead, Edgeworth?
Right. I must confess that right in her file, I came to know of the murder case you were involved in during your college years. Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, thanks to the persistence of Mia Fey.
Mia Fey? Mia Fey?
At that time, Dahlia... It's like she was possessed by a demon or something.
It's been almost 5 years since that guilty verdict was handed down.
and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed last month. Executed? I'm sure that's a bit of a shock for you, right? And for more reasons than one. But do you understand now? She can't possibly be connected with this case. She's dead, and once someone is dead, there's no way to revive them. There's no way to revive the dead? I wonder. It seems you're not aware of one other connection yet, Edgeworth. And what is that? It's about Iris and Dahlia, Hawthorne's mother. What's their mother got to do with any of this? She's Morgan Fay, a spirit medium of a branch from a branch family of the curing channeling technique. Did you say curing channeling technique? Do you know something about it? Oh, yes. I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium. Fraudulent? I was involved in another nightmare 17 years ago. I was caught up in the middle of a murder investigation. The police didn't have any leads. They were stumped, and that's when they called her in. She was a very famous spirit medium and the master of her channeling school. But you know what happened. As a result of her effort, an innocent man was accused of murder. She and her powers, they were all fraudulent. Edgeworth, I go to the police records room. It's all in there. All you have to do is check the DL6 incident case file and you'll know. Of course. How could I forget? Edgeworth was the victim of that case. Edgeworth, you'll understand someday. And then, you'll see that the curing channeling technique is real. So, I guess you still haven't gotten over your fear of earthquakes. No, though thankfully my nightmares have stopped. But still, if the ground gives even the slightest tremor, I find myself short of breath. 17 years ago, when we were little high school kids at the same elementary school, Edgeworth found himself in the middle of a murder. It all started with that big earthquake that hit the courthouse. Yes, I was stuck in the elevator with my father, who was a defense attorney. We were deprived of oxygen and we passed out. That's when it happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. I lost everything that day, all because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself. It's been more than 17 years now. And that case was finally resolved 2 years ago, right? You think I don't know that? I was there, but it was such a shock. I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, Bright. There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake, and not after you saved me. Edgeworth. You're stronger than you think. So no more of this self-pity, okay? Now then, let's go talk to Iris. Time to break those psych locks. I think it's time you told me the truth about what you were doing on that night. You said you were in your room at Hasakura Temple the entire time. Do you still claim that to be the truth?
Yes, that's where I was.
Iris, I believe that you're innocent. That's why I want to believe what you're telling me too, but I can't. Because this person saw you somewhere else the night of the murder. Take that! I'm talking about Sister Bikini, of course.
Sister Bikini?
Her testimony in court today was very clear.
That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So, I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hasakura Temple.
Sister Bikini didn't just see you. She spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training that night. So you see, Iris, you were there at the inner temple on the night of the murder.
That's very impressive, Mr. Wright. The acolyte's actual training is due to start after 10 o'clock at that night. I left the main hall early so I would be late.
What time was that?
Let me see. It takes about 20 minutes to walk between the main hall and the inner temple. So I would have left at about 10:40 p.m., I think.
I'm sorry, Iris, but lying just doesn't suit you.
Huh?
Now you say you left the main hall at 9:40 p.m., but what you say doesn't add up with this. Take that! You yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? You stated that you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night.
Ah!
Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen at the main hall by the most reliable witness I have.
Who's that?
Me.
Mr. Wright?
We've spoken a little that evening. That's when you gave me this. Surely you haven't forgotten.
No, that's right. I remember.
And that brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. At 10 o'clock on the night of the murder, you were seen in two different places at the same time. It's time you told me exactly what's going on, Iris. So far, I've managed to prove two things. First, on the night of the incident, you were at the inner temple. And second, and at the exact same time, you were ringing the bell at Hasakura Temple. There's only one possible explanation for this apparent possibility. There were two of you. On the night of the incident, you were seen in two different places at the same time, which means there must have been two of you. I can't think of any other explanation, Iris.
But that's crazy. How could that be? There's only one of me. It's impossible.
Impossible? I wonder. The way you're trembling certainly seems to suggest otherwise.
Go. You're seriously trying to suggest there's more than one of me? Then show me the evidence. Show me something that proves there is more than one of me.
Okay. I have a firm grasp on the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps?
Ah!
That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne. A woman I know only too well.
I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. But she's no longer...
Yes, I know. Her sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
Thank you.
There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? This second you, who was here at the temple on the night of the murder, it was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne.
But you just said yourself a second ago, my sister's dead. Have you forgotten that?
Have you forgotten this, Iris? This is a channeling dojo, a training ground for the curing channeling technique. That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it. And that's the secret you've been trying to hide from me.
Ah! I was in my room in the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I've been spotted at the inner temple, I knew. I knew it was my sister. Dahlia, the other half of me, who passed away last month.
Just as I suspected. The Iris that Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple on the night of the murder. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why didn't you tell me this before?
Because my sister always does the right thing.
Excuse me?
And because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again.
You betrayed her? What do you mean?
That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way.
What is she talking about?
You know about it, don't you, Mr. Wright? About the fake kidnapping that took place here on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago? That was the start of it all. It's what started her down that twisted path. She started to commit crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life. It's all because I betrayed her.
How did you betray her, Iris?
It was no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing.
What?
But I got scared, so I ran away.
What are you talking about? Why would you help her?
stealing $2 million from your own father? That's awful. But I promised. I promised that I'd help. And she didn't do it for the money.
Huh?
It was revenge on our father.
Revenge? What do you mean by revenge?
He was a hideous man, and he threw our mother away, and then sent her to hell.
Her mother? She must be talking about Morgan Fay.
Our mother was the eldest daughter in the main branch of the Fay family. The main family had a lot of influence in many business and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, our mother was set to inherit all of as the next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place, for power. But his plan backfired. Because our mother's sister took it all from her. She took our over as the curing master.
That would be Misty Fay, Maya's mother.
But before long, the credibility of the curing tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Fay, made a terrible mistake. It was during the investigation of the DL6 incident. After that happened, our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and our home behind. He hated the place. He said it was a hick drive, and that he had no reason to stay here.
And that's when you came here to Hasakura Temple?
Yes. The woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see.
Oh.
And I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the masters her seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family. I've heard she's been very battered, spiritually and emotionally.
I think I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together.
I have asked her everything I can, and to try to my capacity as a prosecutor. This incident, everything related to it goes back to the history of the Fay clan.
That's what it looks like. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me.
What is it?
During the incident in which your sister, Dahlia Hawthorne, poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student, have you heard anything about him?
Well, I did hear one thing. She said that she hated his guts.
I see. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Hurry up, Phoenix Wright. There is still much to investigate. Leave these locks to me. I'll open them for you. I promise.
Thank you. I suppose I better continue my investigation. There's still one giant secret left to unlock. Pearl's psych lock. And we better not waste any more time and get to her. Look at that. They really did make a fire. Right in front of the shack.
Oh, Mr. Nick.
Ha! You're too late, Nick! If you came here for one of our potatoes, we've already polished them all off.
I think I'm pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding.
Take that!
Here we go. Time for the climax of this episode. After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Miss Elise Duxton's room reading a book together, correct?
Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end.
You didn't go?
No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried. I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous.
So Pearls never went to Miss Duxton's room. Because she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls? On the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you?
Take that!
You went here, didn't you, Pearls? Looks like she's still not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were worried. So worried, right? Then the next question is, who or what were you so worried about? Now, I'm going to take a guess. Yes, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong.
You mean you know?
If I'm right, you'll have to tell me the whole truth.
Okay.
You went to this place for the very simple reason. And that is... It's obvious that you were worried about what you were worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it?
Ah!
You knew the training Maya was undertaken was dangerous. After all, it was the special course.
I signed up for your special course.
Well, my, quite brave of you considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become one with those you channel. Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hasakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you?
Thinking about what could have happened to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing at the Inner Temple.
Then we're clear now that you were at the Inner Temple that night, Pearls. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the Inner Temple?
It was probably around 10:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training hall was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started. But there was so much snow, so I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock.
Until after 10? How did you know it was after 10?
Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out.
She heard the lights out bell. Hazakura Temple's bells was pretty small, right, though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing.
I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible.
She was trying to hear the bell? Tell me, Pearls, why were you so worried about hearing that bell?
Huh? Oh,
I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about that bell was because of this.
Take that!
You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper?
Where did you...
In the incinerator at the inner temple. Pearls? You were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell.
I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing.
These instructions that were found in the incinerator, I believe they were written for you, Pearls.
For me? No.
As you can see, a large portion of it has been burned. But the last section is still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to channel? Taking into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was...
Take that!
It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. Just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris who Sister Bikini met at the inner temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of woman Dahlia Hawthorne was?
No. I've never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions.
I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you follow their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote this set of letters, instructions for you to follow?
Take that!
Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you to do so. That's why.
How did you...
I figured it out. The person who wrote this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay.
Wah!
Alright, Pearls. It's time you started telling me the truth.
Mr. Nick,
Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this.
Don't underestimate me just because I'm a child.
Huh?
If you're trying to say I follow these instructions, I'd like to see some proof.
What?
Because I don't think you have any.
She'd say anything rather than admit to carrying out those instructions. I guess I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Pearls. We both know how you have carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right. There's no evidence that proves it was you.
I knew it.
However, I do know that whoever did it was a child.
Huh? How do you know that?
It could have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that.
A simple mistake? What do you mean by that?
I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you were given, but you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it.
Take that!
It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it?
Ah! What? Why would I do something like that?
Do you remember what was written in that letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast, among others, right?
How do you know that?
Remember the conversation you had with Miss Duxnam on the night of the murder?
Perhaps we can read some books together. Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading. Well then, would you like to practice reading with me? Miss Elise, so for example, how do you read this? It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word.
Sure, Miss Duxnam taught you how to read gravely and roast. But what she didn't teach you is what they meant.
Gravely sounded like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food.
And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy on the night of the pot roast.
To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get it the wrong idea.
Just a tiny bit.
I really am useless. I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother has asked me. Such a simple thing, but I couldn't even do that right. After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple. With the pot full of the leftover gravy.
The gravy?
I saw the picture of the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the Master of Kirain, like it said in the letter.
I see. And then?
Well, It was already past 10 when I got there because of all the snow. So I went to the inner temple guest area.
The guest area?
Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over.
Why didn't you just go to the training hall?
Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started, and I couldn't interrupt it. So I stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then
Pearls, did you fall asleep?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help it.
You're only 6 years old, girl. Wait, how old are you? You're 9 years old. That can't be helped. You're no older than my niece.
Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fall asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris, too. It happens.
Anyway, then you found yourself trapped on at the inner temple.
Yes, when I woke up in the morning, I tried not to cry, but Dusky Bridge wasn't there anymore, and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter into the incinerator. Then I heated up the leftover gravy and
left some steam and left them stem by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried.
It must be pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too.
Don't equate something so trivial with her experiences, Larry.
it was written in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring.
So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit?
No. I tried, but I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it?
I never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried and I tried and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time. But I just couldn't do it.
Don't let it get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. If you want, I'll come flying through the sky for you. Whoosh, just like that.
So she never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spirit channeling powers are gone?
Yes, I don't know what to do.
Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel the spirit?
I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though.
Could you please tell me what it is anyway?
It could happen if someone else is already channeling the same spirit.
Someone else? What do you mean?
Well, there's only one of each spirit, right?
Yup, just like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if there's already taken.
Then what would happen on the night of the murder? Someone else channeled her spirit before Pearls could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne.
I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish.
Her final wish?
Yes, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully.
This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it.
My mother has gone to a place called a penitentiary.
Yeah, I know, Pearls.
I visit her every month. And last month, she told me, "The time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now, listen carefully, and I'll tell you where the letter is hidden." My mother is always nice to me. I love her very much.
Yeah, moms will do anything for their kids, right?
She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya is part of the Fae clan, so I had to be good for her, too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick?
I guess so, yeah. Oh, you poor innocent girl.
There was a picture with her letter, too.
A picture?
Of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time...
Pretty weird, huh?
Like Larry knows anything about this stuff.
There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before.
That sure is pretty strange.
Someone had opened it already? Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out.
You're very welcome. My mother is watching over us. So I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright.
Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Huh. Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? You finally realize how terrible of a crime being painfully obvious. Goda! The entrance to the sacred cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop. I guess he's talking about Iris and the lot-breaking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Why do you say that? Because Maya Fey isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It's your job to protect her, Trite. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. Two sisters caught up in in the worst circumstances. I realize that, but... And you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one that could have saved them. But I didn't know anything about what was going on. Huh. What did you just say, Trite? Being obvious is a hideous crime in itself. Tomorrow. We'll settle everything in court tomorrow. Once and for all.
Mr. Nick, Is what that man just said true?
It'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see her for yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick.
My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child, my Pearl. It's better that you don't know what you've done. I knew this day would come for you. That blood of the main family is no more. Now, finally, after all this time, the Master's seat is yours. At last, my great wish. It seems just in time.
And it looks like we're gonna figure all this out in court next time in Let's Replay Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogies. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment if you want, ring the bell to be notified when our next videos comes out. All of this helps my channel to grow so you guys get more videos to view. We do new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and occasionally Saturdays and Sundays. Till the next video, this is Saur Darkchylde, signing off. Have a good night, folks.